Hi YouTube, it's Emma Blue Eyes 10 and this is another Blue Eyes White Dragon deck update. I have changed my deck quite a bit in the past week, 2-3 weeks or so, and I have guest star Dark Retition 84 on with me as well. Yeah, because hopefully after I've done this deck video I'm going to have a duel. I'm not sure if I'm going to record it though, but we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, onto the deck. There's been quite a number of significant changes in the deck, and I'll explain why I swapped out certain cards and everything. And but basically, in general, overall, the deck wasn't. I didn't feel it was balanced. I felt like I was focusing too much on too many specific details that were not really helping the deck out, in honest truth. So I went back to the drawing board and I said, well, what's the aim of the deck? I want to get Blue Eyes White Dragon out, so I've made it more focused on just the Blue Eyes White Dragon and the cards that I use a lot for synchroing, general summonings, getting out Blue Eyes and everything, and that. So yeah, so as I said, I'll explain the changes in that with each card that goes along. So yep, so here we go, we're going to start. Okay, obviously, and also I'm going to feature my Rainbow Dragon mat, which I love, which thanks to Richie and Max Warrior 72 they got for me, so a big shout out to you two. Okay, right, enough to... Pardon? No problem, Richie. Right, enough clowning around, let's get onto the deck review. Okay, as you know, Blue Eyes White Dragon, obviously one Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, because she's my ultimate favourite card. 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, the original Kaiba starter deck version, because obviously no Blue Eyes White Dragon deck can be without it. 3 3 Baby Bluey Wooies, or the White Stone of Legends. Again, I believe that no Blue Eyes White Dragon deck should be without at least one copy of these, because it's a baby Blue Eyes White Dragon, it adds a Blue Eyes to hand when it's sent to the grave. 1 Primeteero Dragon to negate destruction abilities and turn burn damage into life gain. 1 Vice Dragon, as I keep saying, is the Cyber Dragon of the deck. I can special summon it if I've got no monsters and my opponent controls one. I was actually considering taking this card out the deck, but because it's actually saved my backside in quite a few duels, I decided to keep it. I was going to swap it for something like Infernal Dragon or another level 4 dark type that I could increase with Delta Flower's ability, but that would take 2 or more turns to actually figure out. Whereas with Vice Dragon, at least I can do a synchro summon in 1 turn, which is a bit more easier. Okay, 2 Mirage Dragons, the mini Jinzo for the battle phase. Trap cards can't be activated.
His attack is no illusion.
2 Delta Flyers, such a useful little dragon tuner. I would say this is a staple for any dragon deck now if you're using synchro summons. Level 3 1500 attack is searchable by Master Dragon or Dread Dragon, and it increases other monsters' levels, so makes synchroing into level 7s and above really easy. And since I plan to hopefully get a Trishula in the future, this will make it a lot easier as well. And I'm back to 3 Master Dragons. 2 was okay, but 3 has always been better for me in general because it's just extra defense and it searches out a lot more targets as well. So that's the first change. I'm back to 3 Master Dragon. I keep swapping between 2 and 3, but I think from now on I'm just going to stick with 3 in general. 1 Dread Dragon, the Sangan of the deck. When it's destroyed by battle, I get to add a level 3 or lower dragon to the hand, and can combo with Mash Dragon, Delta Flower, White Stone, or even Totem Dragon. I'm still keeping the Totem Dragons because obviously it's a good way to tribute for summon for the Blue Eyes and other monsters, just in case somebody decides to use Royal Oppression or negates the ancient rules or like spell canceller and stuff like that. So this is a good little way to get around those kind of problems. Now, if you've noticed from the monster lineup, I no longer have Honest or Light and Darkness Dragon in there. Honest was good for the deck, but when it went back down to 1, of course, if you get the timing wrong and you really need it later on in the game, then you're in trouble basically. Because I don't have any cards to actually return Honest back to the hand, so it was time for it to take a back seat, unfortunately. Light and Darkness Dragon was a brilliant card, but unfortunately, I was focusing too much on the tributes for the card, and I was too much focused on using Glad very quickly where I shouldn't have, and it was locking down my deck quite badly as well as the opponent. So I tried swapping it for a White Knight Dragon because I think of that as a Crystal Blue Eyes White Dragon in a way, but even that was becoming a problem. Even though it's easier to summon, um, I had 7 high levels in the deck and I've gone down to 6. And I tested the deck against Kalo Shade earlier, and it's actually running a lot smoother with just the Shining Dragon, the 3 Blue Eyes, Vice Dragon, and Prime Material Dragons, which are the main monsters I actually use. So yeah, so it's a pure dragon deck now. There's no non-dragons in there now. Honest was good, but I can't reuse it a lot, so it's gone. Light and Darkness was brilliant as well, but it was shutting down my deck too much, so I had to take that out. So it's focused mainly on the Blue Eyes now, just completely focused on that. There's no um like sidetracks or anything, I would say. Okay, the magic cards now. Obviously, still sticking with 3 ancient rules to special summon Blue Eyes from the hand. It can be a pain if all Blue Eyes are used for fusions and I don't use it, but great for. But if it does become a dead draw, it can be useful for other cards like Lightning Vortex or Prime Material Dragon in that too, so you don't lose any important cards. Okay, Polymerization, staple fusion card for any cards that use fusion, I would say. Two Dragon's Mirrors to remove from play the Blue Eyes either on the field or in the grave to get out Ultimate Dragon. Combo with a Burial from the Different Dimension. I can reuse the second Dragon's Mirror, or in general just return any remove from play cards back to the graveyard. 1 Mystical Space Typhoon. I was actually considering running 2. I did actually try 2, but it still felt like I was clogging up the deck, so back down to 1 again. 1 Monster Reborn, staple to resurrect any monsters. 1 Lightning Vortex. I was actually considering adding in a Dark Hole, but I'm still not too keen on Dark Hole, and Lightning Vortex combos so well with many of the other cards in my deck, like White Stone, Totem Dragon, Blue Eyes, even Ancient Rules and that, getting rid of dead draws and everything. 1 Surge of Beyond Light to stall the opponent for 3 turns. 1 Hand Destruction, draw 2, discard 2. 1 Trade-in. This can only combo with the Blue Eyes White Dragons now, but I'm not so afraid to use it and like I was before because it's such a useful card now. 1 Pot of Avarice to recycle monsters and draw 2 cards. 1 Pot of Duality just to quote Max Warrior 72 and Dark Partition 84 to see 3 turns into the future and add a card that could be useful to the hand.
That was just Max. Sorry, Max's quote. I didn't say anything about.
Oh, I thought you said. Well, I'm giving you both a shout out anyway.
Oh, thank you.
1 Cards of Consonance can only combo with the White Stone, but it's +3 with the White Stone's effect. Okay, trap cards, basic staple, Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute to clear the field. Basically, I ran into the problem of I ran into the problem of people being able to summon out many monsters quickly, and I wasn't able to. So Torrential Tribute was a good idea. 1 Magic Cylinder to inflict burn damage. 1 Mirror Wall, still keeping the Mirror Wall because it's still an excellent card to use against obviously Shooting Star and that because it can't be negated. I just have to be wary of 7 Tools of the Bandit and Mystical Space Typhoon. And finally, the other big change is this one, Trap Stun. I decided to add Trap Stun in because, well, even though I've got good negate against destruction abilities, I still ran into problems like DD Prison, mainly DD Prison and that. So I thought about Solemn Judgment, but every time I've played Solemn Judgment, it's often cost me the game because I often got the timing on that wrong. So I went for Trap Stun instead because it only negates the traps for the turn, but it doesn't cost anything. Whereas Solemn Judgment, you pay half your life points to negate only one item, whereas this can negate all traps mainly. Now, even though I've got Mirage Dragon to help stop that sort of thing, if I don't have Mirage Dragon, this is a good backup. And in general, it's just quite a very good, useful little card. But I was a bit skeptical of using it at first, but I've tested it out and it's actually worked quite well. So yeah, that is the main deck. Onto the extra deck now. This is where there have been other big changes. Obviously, 3 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons.
Yay!
Ultimate Dragon rules. you know,
Right.
you know what? I wish they'd really bring out an alternate art version of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. That would be so cool.
They might do someday.
Hopefully, yeah.
Never know.
1 magical android for life point gain. This is probably the only non-dragon in the deck. Just for life point gain, because obviously I've got Mirror Wall in there and that. 1 iron.
Loves magical android.
Very funny. 1 Iron Chain Dragon, level 6 25 attack beat stick, 1 Black Rose Dragon to reset the field, 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon to get around field spells and to special summon level 4 lower monsters, 1 Stardust Dragon to negate destruction, 1 red. 1 Red Dragon Archfiend to get around defensive monsters, 1 Black Feather Dragon to negate burn, 1 Dark.
Came from me.
Excuse me?
Blackwing Dragon. It came from me.
Yep, that's true. 1 Dark End Dragon to send monsters to the grave, and 1 Light End Dragon, which is my favourite, still my favourite Synchro Dragon. I attack your monster loses 1500 attack and defense. Ouch. Yeah, if you noticed, I no longer have Formula Synchron or Shooting Star in the deck because I was beginning to become a bit too focused on them with the Stardust Shell, Long Treeborn Frog strategies and everything. And I was actually, even though I did manage to get it out on occasion, it was still very difficult to get out. So I decided to take it out, and if I decide to run another Stardust Dragon or more cards to go with that sort of deck, then I'll put them back in. But for now, I'm very content with what I've got in the deck. And as I said, I've tested this against Kalo Shade, and it's actually run quite smoother. And hopefully, I'm going to test this against Richie if he will permit me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so yeah, guys, that's the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck updated. I hope you guys enjoy that. If you've got any comments or whatever, stick them in the comment box below. And me and Dark Partition 84 are signing out. See you guys.